On today's primetime local news, residents voice their opinions on what should happen on the old space where the Martin Brown School once stood.
Parks are wonderful to have, but you need to have resources to pay for them, and our primary resource we have comes from taxation.
And how this foundation is shedding light on the dark world of human trafficking in Canada. Plus, the Kinsman Christmas tree sale, how the funds are being spread out to other charities in the border city.
Hey, I'm Eric Bay, and today we are here at the Snowflake House, and tons of stuff happening here. We're going to be checking out everything that they are currently looking to do, and as well some of the stuff that is upcoming here very soon, especially in the new year. And we're going to have all that and more from back here throughout tonight's show.
Prime time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
One of the most passionate discussions at your Voice Night this week was around potential plans for the development of the Martin Brown area. Josh Ryan has more on what residents had to say about what to do with that land.
Since the Martin Brown building was demolished, the city has been seeking feedback on how to move forward with the land.
We're getting some good feedback from the residents and from people that don't live in that area as well.
3 options were made available at Your Voice. One essentially maintaining the current area, the other 2 adding housing, but still keeping most of the area intact.
It's essential that we preserve as much green space there as possible and make the best use of a defined area of space.
The issue with keeping the land green is making sure those costs are covered.
Parks are wonderful to have, but you need to have resources to pay for them, and our primary resource we have comes from taxation. It's unreasonable to think we can continue to just add green space because then we'd have to be taking money from other spots of the city where we do have resources and revenues.
While residents' responses to the options were mixed, several preferred the third.
I like plan number 3 where they have residential in there. Sell the lots, it's going to help pay for the park, and taxes will help upkeep.
The next issue is what sort of housing would fill that spot, which also has mixed responses.
Instead of fancy big houses, they should be more for low income and seniors.
And while there were some that preferred even more housing, that also comes at a cost.
You have a balance of revenues coming in around taxation, and also a balance on the other side which says that this is a wonderful community to grow your family in, have your kids play, have a park, and have that green space I think that many people look forward to as part of their neighborhood.
Josh Ryan, Primetime Local News.
When it comes to human trafficking, it seems Canada has a huge problem. The Joyce Smith Foundation is now available to talk and educate our community on the dangers of human trafficking. 93% of trafficking victims come from within Canadian borders. Children as young as 14 will either be thrown in the sex trade or used for labor. For Joyce Smith, it's important to shed light on this situation in Canada.
It's not something that just happens in other countries across the globe.
We just want the kids to be educated. We fundraise apart from the schools and everything else, so we can make sure that they have all these materials given out to the kids, and we make sure that the presenters are very well trained.
The Joyce Smith Foundation is a Canada-wide nonprofit organization set to combat the human trafficking that happens in our country. Every community is affected by trafficking, and the organization's goal is to keep the conversation going.
It happens in every district. I know there's so many incidences. The traffickers do go out to small towns, and that's where they take a lot of the victims to train them.
Joyce Smith hopes to hear from organizations in and around the community. That way, she could send someone from her organization to start that conversation. The Christmas tree is something you see in almost every home around the holiday season. And if you're someone who looks for a real tree every year, the Kinsman Club is offering them once again, and for a good cause. The club brings in around 800 trees each year due to the high demand of residents in the border city. The Kinsmen often look forward to seeing the amount of people who buy a tree for their fundraiser.
People have been very loyal to us. They come back year over year. That the Facebook blows up when we get close to opening up our trees. Everybody's looking for the Kinsman Christmas trees in the Kinsman lot. So you know, it's great to know that people are excited about this, and it's something we've been doing for many, many years.
The money raised from the tree sales goes back into the community in multiple different ways.
The money raised here goes, we donate to to both high schools for scholarships, the college for some scholarships. We support some of the safety walk programs at some of the elementary schools in town, and some of the minor sports organizations too we've donated to in the past.
The Christmas tree lot is located in the Aztec Safety parking lot off of Highway 16. For more information, you can go to the Kinsman Club's Facebook page. And now to our Eric Bay, who is on location.
Back here today at the Snowflake House, and we are talking about a little bit what they do have coming up here and also what is happening, and I'm joined now by Shelly Varinga. And so first off, do you mind giving us a little background as to what you guys do here at Snowflake House?
Okay, so Snowflake has been in existence for 12 years. It was started by Lily Blonde. What we basically do is we offer respite services hourly right now to families with children with special needs. Sometimes respite is just take the children out to the community. We do mentorships. We offer life skills training and a number of things.
Obviously very important. Now you guys just recently have expanded into Wainwright, so I guess talk a little bit about that move and the importance of expanding.
Well, we keep getting calls from families in Wainwright. So what we've done is we put our postings out. We've hired a few staff there. We had a meeting with the local representatives to try and start getting respite offered there.
All right, very good. And now obviously very important work you guys do here. So just talk a little bit about the importance of being able to go out to these other communities, you know, Lloydminster, Vermilion, Wainwright, and having these resources elsewhere.
Well, I think that anytime a parent can get respite hours and services for their children, helps keep the family together longer. We don't only our major focus is up to 18 years old, but we are working with a group of people that are you know, up to the 24-year range where they fall into the criteria of what we do.
All right, thank you for this, and we're going to have some more from back here continuing with Snowflake House, but before that we're going to head back into the studio.
It is -7 currently here in Lloydminster. A little bit of cloud coverage. We did have a fairly clear day today, which was nice to see. There's a chance of some fog patches making its way through around midnight, but nothing to worry about. It will clear off by the morning. Winds coming in from the west-southwest at 16 kilometers per hour, making it feel like closer to -14 with that wind chill. Across the region, -7 also out in Edmonton and in Cold Lake, -13 in Red Deer, -12 in Rocky Mountain House, -10 in Jasper, -11 in Edson, -9 in Whitecourt, and -8 in Athabasca. And on the Saskatchewan side, -6 in Meadow Lake, -10 in Prince Albert and in Melfort, -9 in Saskatoon, and -5 in North Battleford. Overnight in North Battleford, they're sitting pretty clear right now, but they'll be getting some pretty heavy cloud coverage overnight with the temperature dropping to -10, and that wind will also drop to 7 kilometers per hour coming in from the south, which will stay the same but coming in from the west-southwest tomorrow with a daytime high of -4 with a mix of sun and cloud. In Cold Lake, they'll get a little bit more cloud coverage overnight with the temperature dropping to -12, and that wind will be at 7 kilometers per hour coming in from the west-southwest. But tomorrow will pick up to 9 kilometers per hour coming in from the same direction with a daytime high of -7 and a mix of sun and cloud. Here in Lloydminster, we'll have that continued cloud coverage overnight with the temperature just dropping to -9, and that wind will be at 11 kilometers per hour coming in from the southwest, which will drop to 9 kilometers per hour coming in from the west-southwest with a daytime high of -6 and a mix of sun and cloud with a low of -9. And so your weekend off on Saturday, there's a 55% chance of some snow with a high of -7 and a low of -9 with a mostly cloudy day. And then on Sunday, it'll be a high of -14 and a low of -22. That wraps up your 3-day forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Welcome back. A staple in the Lloydminster community, Trophy Gallery provides custom engraving on a wide range of materials. Eric Bay has more in this week's BioClean Business Bio.
A proudly family-run business, Trophy Gallery has continued to provide the same service here in Lloydminster for years.
My mom owned it for probably about 20 years, and then I bought it from her about 5 years ago. So, and I've been working here myself for about 20 years. But yeah, it's been a family business for a long time in Lloyd. Sports are a thing that always happens. People continue to put their kids in sports. So we're able to serve Lloydminster for a long time, and we're happy for that.
Trophy Gallery is able to personalize multiple surfaces for anything from gifts to awards.
We engrave on a different assortment of objects, cups, golden cups, silver cups, plaques, drinkware, which would be, Polar Camels, Yetis, glassware, stainless steel travel mugs, also acrylic and crystal and glass awards.
While offering diverse engraving, Trophy Gallery is also able to quickly take a customer's order and create the final product.
They will, tell us what they want on it, and we will send them proof, and from there we make adjustments if need be, and then we get it done. Usually turnaround time's usually 2 to 3 days, which is really good in the production industry. We do everything in-house, so we can accommodate rush jobs too, so we usually can get it done really quick for the customer.
Trophy Gallery also delivers to customers, and that's this week's BioClean Business Bio.
Business Bio, brought to you by BioClean. Call the Bio Team, 1-833-246-8326. The Disaster Specialists.
And now here are your stock market prices for today.
First General Services. When you require prompt emergency service, the first F word that should come to your mind should be First General Services.
Welcome back. Beef producers are always looking for ways to continue to become more efficient, and steps are being taken to identify cattle with higher immune response. Eric Bay has more on how high immune response technology can improve beef production in this week's Ag Report.
High immune response technology, which identifies an animal's natural ability to fight off disease, has already paid dividends in dairy cows, and now the Canadian Angus Association is trying to bring that tech to the beef industry.
It will be a great complement on the genomics part of things, because the technology itself has been validated in the dairy. They have a genomic tool in the dairy to identify animals that have those abilities, but not so much in the beef. So that's what the Canadian Angus is working on.
Canadian Angus is working to find the genotypes that can identify whether or not a cow has a stronger immune system, which can tell farmers which cattle are better equipped to fend off illness.
You first get the phenotypes before you go into the genomics, identifying the genomic tools. So they're measuring these animals, and they can now match it with the genotypes and identify the genomic tools that will be favorable for identifying those animals.
By breeding cattle that display the genotype associated with a higher immune system, producers can improve their herd's immune abilities, staying healthier and cutting costs on treatment.
Making it efficient for all producers. The beef industry is a cost of production industry, so if we're able to decrease those costs wherever and whenever possible, it definitely increases the efficiency within the industry.
The high immune response technology is currently still being tested in beef cattle. Eric Bay, Primetime Local News.
This Ag Report is brought to you by the Lloydminster Co-op Agro Center. Depend on them for product, tools, and expert advice. Shop at your local Lloyd Co-op Agro Center with branch locations in Lashburn and Neilburg.
And now here are your agriculture prices for today.
We're a part of less than 5% of Canadian auto body shops and Lloydminster's only locations with certified collision care recognition at City Centre Auto Body.
The most dangerous 8 seconds in sports is coming to the border city. PBR Canada is making a stop at the Lloyd X for the PBR Winter Classic. 4 of the top 5 riders in PBR Canada will be coming on Saturday for the toughest sport on dirt.
It's a really big deal. PBR is all across Canada, and we're excited to host one in Lloydminster. People love bull riding. Tickets are going fast, and so we love bringing these kind of events to Lloydminster.
The rodeo follows not long after the PBR Canadian Finals in Saskatoon 2 weeks ago. In Saskatoon, and coming to Lloydminster, were Saskatchewan's own Dakota Butter and Jared Parsonage. The standings leading up to the PBR Finals was the closest in history, with those two being as close as 32.5 points apart. The two finished in 2nd and 3rd in Toontown. Even after their success, the riders stay humble.
I'll try to stay consistent. At the end of the day, it's just bull riding, so if you do your job and ride your bulls, you'll do good. So you just take care of business and try and stay consistent.
The last time the Bulls came to town was in July, where Cody Nance rode his way to victory.
Icing on the cake, we got the win. You can't complain about that. Great pen of bulls, great crowd. Man, it was a great, man, it just felt like a lot of energy. It's just good place to ride bulls.
Doors open at 6 on Saturday, with the event starting at 7. Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports. And now to our Abby St. John, who's got the weather.
Thanks, Evan. Well, taking a look at our satellite radar, there's a lot of snowfall looking like in the Edmonton area. They did have a lot of wet snowfall yesterday that made the road conditions not too favorable, and making its way into Vegreville. We did get a light bit of snow yesterday, but it wasn't too severe, and it didn't stick around for very long, which is good for us. On the Saskatchewan side, it's fairly clear, just a little bit of cloud coverage over the last couple hours and into this evening as well. Areas in Saskatchewan will also see some cloud coverage, including here in Lloydminster. Current temperature is still -7 here, as well as in Green Lake, -9 up in Isla Cross, -6 in Maidstone, Macklin, and in Pearson, -8 in Meadow Lake and St. Walburg, -5 in North Battleford. And on the Alberta side, -7 in Marwayne, Cold Lake, St. Paul, Lac La Biche, -6 in Bonnyville, -7 in Edmonton, -6 in Vermilion, -10 in Vegreville, -8 in Wainwright, and -9 out in Provost. And your tomorrow temperatures, a daytime high of -6 here in Lloydminster, as well as in Marwayne, Bonnyville, St. Paul, and Vermilion, -3 in Provost, -5 in Wainwright and Vegreville, -6 or -7 in Cold Lake, Lac La Biche, and -4 in Edmonton. And on the Saskatchewan side, -8 up in Isla Cross, -6 in Maidstone and Green Lake, -7 in Pearson and St. Walburg, -3 in Macklin, -4 in North Battleford, and -5 in Meadow Lake. Overnight across the region, fairly clear skies for Isla Cross, with their temperature sitting at -12. Also in Pearson is also -12. And then the rest of the region is fairly cloudy. Provost a little bit clearer than most of the region, but it still has that cloud coverage overnight. So definitely be aware of that. But there is no big signs of snowfall, maybe some light fog, as we may get some patches here in Lloydminster overnight. Your school day forecast for tomorrow at 8 a.m. it'll be -8 with mostly cloudy skies, which will be the trend for most of the day. And then by the time recess rolls around, it'll be -7. And then it'll warm up to -6 at lunchtime. And then by the time school is out, it'll be back at -7 with a mix of sun and cloud. And your next 7 days, a low of -9 for tomorrow. And then on Saturday, a 55% chance of some snow with a high of -7 and a low of -9. And then on Sunday, it gets cool. It gets colder with a high of -14 and a low of -22. To start your week off on Monday, it'll be a high of -13 and a low of -16 with a mix of sun and cloud. On Tuesday, it'll be pretty cold with a high of -17 and a low of -21. And then on Wednesday, it'll be a high of -19 and a low of -23. On Thursday, it'll be a high of -9 and a low of -22. So we're getting into those 20 digits for your lows for right now. For right now, it's not going to be your highs, but definitely be cautious as they will start to get cooler as we go into the night. But that wraps up your 7-day forecast. We'll have more news in the question of the day coming up after the break.
Back here today at the Snowflake House, and as you can see here, tons of stuff to do. They do have their craft activity room, and I'm joined once again by Shelly Varinga. And now obviously rooms like this, but you guys do have also an emotional support dog currently working with you guys. So just talk about the benefit of having that dog here with you at Snowflake House.
Okay, so we have Ari, and she herself was a rescue. And she's working her way through the training process to become certified. She is a very, very in tune dog. She knows when you're upset or when you're happy, and she gears herself towards your need. She is currently working one-on-one with one of our little autistic boys. She helps us stabilize his emotions, and we're just hoping to inspire parents to consider getting some of the kids their own dogs.
And now, obviously, again, tons of great work going on currently, but you guys also have some big plans here coming up in the near future, including looking at creating a respite house here in Lloydminster. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Right. We're looking at opening a 6-bed respite house, which would service children for 24 to 72 hours at a time, offering parents a really great break. We're hoping end of February, maybe middle of March, that we could get that going. We haven't got commitment on funding, but we've been committed for clients to use those beds.
Very good, for sure. Now, on top of that, you guys are also looking to start up some classes here as well for people. So can you talk a little bit about what the plan is with those as well?
So in our office, we're expanding to the new area, and beginning in January, we'll be offering a host of programs. Nonviolent crisis intervention training. We're going to do parenting programs, discipline programs. We're going to be offering a program on specifically geared towards teaching about people about autism, and multitude of life skills workshops too.
Definitely very important. Well, thank you for sharing that with us today, and we are going to have some more from back here again with Snowflake House, but before that, we're going to head back into the studio.
Well, it's question of the day, of course, and this is your favorite question, I'm pretty sure, Abby. So what's the strangest or weirdest food you've ever eaten? That's the question we put out there for Facebook. And you know what? I've gone to that Grizzly House in Banff, and I had a chance to eat different kinds of stuff, including frog legs and rattlesnake and alligator.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you said that this question was my favorite,
yeah.
Absolutely not. It's definitely not. Reading some of the comments, pretty wild things that people have eaten. One lady said a porcupine.
Oh.
She said that it was done up like popcorn chicken, which is interesting.
Interesting.
Ostrich burger. Prairie oysters,
yes.
And then this guy posted this seafood. He didn't know what it was, but then he later found out that it was razor clams. And he says he no longer likes fish after that.
I bet.
Said it was gross and slimy. I
Ugh.
can't say that I've eaten anything super weird. I have eaten lobster
Have you ever had
eyeballs.
haggis?
I know, but I've
The
had
Scottish
lobster
thing?
eyes.
Oh, lobster eyes.
Yeah,
Ugh.
they're interesting.
Okay, in what sense? Smushy?
Yeah. Yeah, like they don't really have a taste to them at all, but they were definitely weird.
Oh, weird. What's not weird are these pets that you guys sent. Thanks for sending them for a chance to win a gift card from the Pet Pad.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Well, it's now December, obviously, and we had Movember last month, and a lot of people participated in the initiative and fundraiser and making awareness of all the stuff that's going on with men's health. And of course, we've got Josh Ryan here who participated in that, and you still got your mustache. I actually told you to stay like this so that we can actually do it on camera, and now you're here, and you're ready.
Yeah, we hung on an extra few days.
Yeah.
It crept over the lip a little bit,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm actually kind of excited to
You're
get rid of
excited,
it.
and I
Not
love
gonna
that you've got this set up. You're ready. Okay, but let's
Yeah.
talk about facts. Obviously, there's a reason why Movember happened, and every year it happens, but you participated in it. Let's talk a little bit about your journey, and how was that, and what you've done so far.
Yeah, well, and last time I was here talking about it, my own experiences that I was suicidal at one point, and so that's something that stuck with me in terms of sort of men's mental health. And as I told Stacy last time, if I can convince one guy through just sharing my story or doing fundraising, if I can help one guy feel like there's another out than suicide, that you're not alone, that there's a better path down the road, then that's worth it for me. So did the Movember campaign. We raised $200, so that was my minimum goal, $200. I did get to my minimum, which is up from what I had last year. So if I can keep maybe small increments, then I'd say it's a small success anyway.
And it's a success in the fact that you really shared your personal story. I know a lot of people have gone through that kind of stuff in the past, but a lot of people have gone through that in terms of men and what they go through when it comes to health and mental health and stuff like that. But you really came out and shared that. It's really hard to come to on a platform like this and really talk about that stuff, which I really admire the fact that you came out and talked about that. Tell us a little bit about that, experience in terms of what happened to you, obviously.
Well, I mean, it's not as hard for me to talk about it as it used to be. When I first opened up to a therapist a couple of years ago, that did feel really difficult at the time, but it also felt like a huge release when it happened. Just being able to actually say it to someone made a big difference. And that's what I've been hearing. A couple people have gotten back to me since I first talked about this on camera, and they said that they appreciated me commenting and thought it was really cool that I did it. And it sounds like for other guys, like they go through similar struggles of depression, anxiety that happen. Some happen seasonally, some happen because of job loss, things like that, or just the stress of life, I guess.
Of course, and a lot of men are going through prostate cancer and other things that can trigger those emotions as well too. I mean, when you're diagnosed with something harsh like that, that happens.
For sure, and I mean, we haven't talked about that much, but specifically when you look at some of the statistics, 75% of suicides in Canada are men. They're 3 times more likely to commit suicide than women, which is something that really doesn't get talked about enough. Just how many men struggle with mental health, and specifically since 2017, I believe was the last time they had full statistics in Canada. It's the 9th leading cause of death in Canada, suicide as a whole. Yeah. So it really does affect men on a pretty systemic level.
Systemic level, and it's important to talk about it and share this. Let's start this. Obviously, we got a lot of work to do here in shaving your mustache finally.
So I have someone lent me a small mirror that I normally wouldn't use, but this is a new experience for me.
This is a big deal
This trimmer will be loud, so I apologize momentarily. So we need to trim, and I know some people will probably be rolling their eyes at the way I shave my face here, but we're going to trim the main portion of it and then get into the actual shaving portion just after that.
So this is a pretty interesting thing. I mean, you've grown it for for the whole month, and it grew pretty well. So now it's gonna
I'm just
pretty
gonna
much
go right down to the
There
bone
you
a
go.
little bit more.
Don't cut yourself. I'm scared that you're gonna, trim and then cut without, because that mirror is pretty small.
Yeah, it's actually surprisingly big when you actually use it. I didn't expect it to be quite that effective. Yeah, so next I'm just gonna water this cloth down a little bit and reduce the amount of blood that will appear on camera, because I'm sure there's some viewers out there that don't wanna see any blood.
No, not at all.
Yeah. No, and
There's an art to this, I think, right?
Oh, for
you
sure.
Have to put the hot water on
if
it
you go to a
first
true barber shop, guys
Yeah.
out there, and they give you the whole sort of massage element of multiple towels, warm water, and then multiple levels of shaving cream after, it almost feels like a spa treatment, I guess. And that's definitely the way to really do it. I'm probably overdoing the amount of
and while you're doing
shaving
this,
cream.
can people still, I think it's done now in terms of fundraising.
But if people still want to donate, certainly.
Certainly, they can do that
so
for you.
we have a link on our on the graphic we've shown this month.
Yeah.
If you go to the easiest way to do it is simply if you go to Movember.com and look up Josh Ryan. I'm actually, I think, the only Josh Ryan on Movember.
Oh, really?
So I'm pretty easy to find in that respect. And we'll get them.
The art of shaving, look at that.
It's, well, if you can call it an art.
I've seen it. It's quite the art when people do this. I can hear it.
Yeah, I can actually. I'm surprised. I wonder if the mic is picking up just how loud that is.
It's okay.
I feel 10 pounds lighter already.
Yeah.
And
so,
if you want to donate, feel free to go to Movember.com. And again, all the money that I'm raising through my page is going towards men's health initiatives,
and
both
like
awareness and providing an outlet for guys to open up and share their feelings, basically.
And what's interesting is also a lot of people in Lloyd had participated in that. Schools participated. Teachers were shaving their mustache as well too throughout the week. So that was kind of interesting watching people who participated in it, and a lot of in the border city for sure. It looks good.
Yeah, I suppose
I think we're wrapping up. So how you doing over there? Pretty good?
I don't know exactly how this will look yet. But,
I think it looks good. You can't see it, I can see it, and I'm thinking everybody else out there can see it. Good job.
I should go running now that I've lost some weight.
Now you've done it. It's officially done. Thank you for being a sport and waiting to get it done at the end of this week, obviously. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, and thanks for being on here as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
It's that time of year again. Somebody is coming to town real soon. On Saturday, it's the 12th annual Here Comes Santa Claus. And my goodness, are there ever fun activities for you and the family to take part in? And they're free. So bring the kids to downtown Lloydminster on Saturday for the 12th annual Here Comes Santa Claus. You can start your day with a free pancake breakfast over at the Legion. That's thanks to the folks with the Lloydminster Kinsmen. Then come to the Atrium Center. Visit the folks at the Lloydminster Library. They're going to help you make a beautiful Christmas ornament that you can take home, put on that Christmas tree. At 11 a.m., that's when Santa arrives here at the Atrium Center. And it's not just Santa arriving at 11. The Grinch is going to be here too. And we got to say thanks to the Lloydminster RCMP. They have agreed to keep an eye on him while he is here in the city of Lloydminster for the 12th annual Here Comes Santa Claus Day. At noon, you've got an opportunity to head over to St. John's Anglican Church. The tent guys are going to be there with bouncy castles, with different carnival games for the kids to play. The Lloydminster Fire Department, they're going to be having their wiener roast once again this year. A chance for you to go on a hayride behind Border City Furniture. Those start at noon. At 1 o'clock, you head to the Olive Tree. Mrs. Claus is going to be there. She'll help you decorate a beautiful Christmas cookie. It'll be delicious. You can head back to the Olive Tree at 3 to make a gingerbread house. Head to Grace United Church starting at 2 to make a Christmas card thanks to Meridian Law Group. And make sure you're in downtown Lloydminster at 5 o'clock for the huge fireworks display. And that's thanks to Service Credit Union and Spectrum Restoration DKI. Oh, and while you're taking part in all the free family activities, make sure you enter for a chance to win a trip for 4 to Disneyland. That's thanks to the Gold Horse Casino and the City of Lloydminster. To get your full lineup of events, pick up a copy of the Meridian Source or go online, realcountrylloydminster.ca. Downtown Lloydminster is definitely a busy place this weekend with lots of activities to get you in the Christmas spirit. On Sunday afternoon at the Legacy Center, they're hosting an old-time country Christmas. The show's going to get underway at 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. Admission is a $5 donation, and after the show, there's going to be coffee and cookies. Should be a great way to get into the Christmas spirit. And coming up on Sunday, the North Bend Hall is hosting their Jingle Jam, so you've got an opportunity to help them make some great Christmas music. You're going to find the North Bend Hall just northeast of Alcurve. Things will get underway at 1:30. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, I hope you have a great one. I'm Heather Klegus, and that's what's happening.
Today I'm joined here with Simon Stang, the theater director at LCHS, and today we're going to be talking about their upcoming production of Mamma Mia that's coming to the Vic Juba in January. So thank you so much for coming in, Simon. I know theater has been a big part of my life, and it's important for kids to obviously get involved in the arts. So can you just tell me a little bit about the process that you've been going through so far with this production?
Well, we started way back in September with obviously auditions and casting, which is always the first hurdle to get over. And then you really start to dig into it, and we've been working tirelessly on our choreography, our harmonies, lead vocals, blocking, lines, all that stuff that the actors have to do. And then behind the scenes, there's costumes, there's set design, there's the pit band, there's just so many moving parts in a musical that it almost seems impossible to keep on top of everything. So,
and especially with plays, it's hard enough, but now with the musical, you have to add in the fact of dance steps, singing, and doing that acting all at the same time at points. So how has it been with the student actors that you are working with? How have they been able to, I guess, get into the rhythm?
Yeah, for some of them it's, you know, they've done it for a few years, so they're a little bit more used to it, but we definitely have more fresh faces this year. And for them, they're finding out how difficult it is sometimes to still stay in character while, you know, dancing, or how to, you know, stay in character while singing those songs and not just singing the songs, you know, like a concert. So it's been, I think a challenge, but they're all, you know, they're all stepping up to it, and I've been really impressed so far, especially as of late. It seems it always starts a little bit slower, but the last couple of weeks I've seen just some really, really big improvements in our chorus and our ensemble, like the support they've been giving, and our lead vocalists. You know, I think they're recognizing that it's crunch time now, so we're, you know, they're really putting in the time behind the scenes to get ready.
And being in the director's chair, how have you seen from starting it in September to right now? I know there's still a few more weeks to go, but how have you seen this show come to life?
I've started to just see some of the actors start to dive into their characters a little bit deeper. I'm starting to have a little bit more fun with the line delivery as their confidence grows, especially with singing. If you're not a singer first, that can be pretty daunting. So as I've seen them get more comfortable with their vocals or maybe with their choreography, you see them start having a little bit more fun. And it is great to see, like when they're actually laughing during rehearsals and they're not just, you know, focused so much on doing things right. That's when, you know, they start to have fun, and then I start to have fun, and I think the whole production just starts to feel a little bit more real. It starts to, you know, get a little bit more life to it. So yeah, that's all been happening. Again, like I said, in the last couple of weeks I've really seen some big changes.
And from the time that you started to, I guess, up to opening night, how much work do you think that the students, yourself, and anyone who's involved actually has put in to make this show possible?
Oh man, it'd be countless hours. I couldn't even put a number on it. And there's so many people. It's, you know, our cast is upwards of 50. Behind the stage, we have another, you know, 10. The pit band's another 10, and then there's so many people at the school, other teachers that are helping out with, be it costumes or set design. If you counted those hours up, you'd be, I don't even know. It's a lot, and then on top of that, the hours that I've been putting in. So it's just like, I always tell the students, until you're involved in one, you just I don't think you can fathom how much work goes into one behind the scenes to see what goes into making that, that final production that you get to see in front of an audience.
Yeah, just blocking a scene is tireless work because you put it on paper and then it may not go right when you're actually putting it to life. So how many revisions and changes have you had to make throughout seeing this?
Well, yeah, the changes are constant. I think every rehearsal we come in and it's, this, maybe it's this section that's not working and we tried a different way, or sometimes it's, whether a line's maybe not being delivered right, or, and then you practice it, just in a theater, and then you try to transition that to an actual set that's been designed for you. So that always comes with learning curves. And then you try to, you're rehearsing with, some sort of rehearsal CD, and then all of a sudden you transition to a real band. So that takes some work. So there's all these little pieces that, as we get closer to it, it becomes a little bit more real. And I think, it requires, as a director, it just requires me to kind of just be able to work on the fly and be able to adapt to those changes as they come along, and not get overwhelmed by them, because they're unavoidable. They're going to happen regardless. And
really quickly before we wrap up, can you just give me where people can find tickets and when the show will be running? Of course.
So it is running from January 10th to 17th at the Vic Juba Community Theatre. Tickets are available at the Vic Juba's box office or online at vicjubatheatre.ca. They're going fast, but there's still lots available. They're a great stocking stuffer if you're looking, if you got somebody in your family you're looking for one more gift. I think it's a great addition, and it's going to be a fantastic show. So no worries there. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming in, and I know that this show is going to be a huge success, and all the hard work is definitely going to show during the performance. So thank you.
Thank you.